Excellent presentation, Shirley. Let's start from there. Ideas are as good as the people who implement them. That's what she said. You know, मेरा तो design से दूर दूर तक का संबंध नहीं है. You know, I'm a chartered accountant. I invest in startups. Scaling up businesses, growing businesses is my passion. It's my profession. So, when Sudhir invited me to speak at this biggest celebration of designers, I took a step back. I called Sudhir. I said, "Kyun bula rahe ho?" He said that you have been working with creators, you have been working with celebrities, so share your experiences with. I said, yes, I mean the same principles will apply to the designers, which apply also for scaling up ventures of celebrities and creators, right? So let's start. Dora Fateh, Anna, I've been associated with Suniel Shetty for 5 years now. We co-produced a TV show called Horses Stable, Jeeta Wohi Sikandar. Very similar to Aaj Tak. We came 2 years before Aaj Tak came to India. We were inspired by Aaj Tak in Shark Tank in the USA. Now I advise him on business affairs, his investments, little interaction with Sri Sri Ravi Shankar Sadhguru. Jackie Dada, my favorite, my top favorite. Now, you know, all these people, be it Nora, be it Anna, be it Jackie Dada, be it Sadhguru, are different personalities, very, very different personalities. But they have something in common. And that common thing is also common with all of you designers. You know, they say, it's not scientifically proven, but they say that our brain is divided into two parts, right brain and left brain. And the right brain is flamboyant. You know, right brain is very good at selling, marketing, positioning, very creative, right? The left brain does all the boring stuff. You know, that's my job. Research, analysis, logic, governance, compliances. Your left brain as designers or creators or these celebrities is very, very strong. My job as business advisor or my job as a startup investor is very much related to the left brain logic. Now, we draw inspiration from different things, right? I draw inspiration from different things. You draw inspiration from different things in your work. You draw inspiration from something like this. You know, nature. Fibonacci. I know that much. Fibonacci, right? I draw inspiration from this. There is no inspiration. You know, we keep working on these kind of things. And you know, the result that we produce as, because of our efforts are also different, you know. You produce something like this. So beautiful. Look at the flamboyant red color, you know. I also have a color palette, by the way, just like you designer. Only thing is that my color palette only has two colors, black and white. Of course, I also use red, but that's not flamboyant. I use red only to show losses, for negative numbers. So we are very, very different in our thinking, and that's what I thought when Sudhir invited me here. But then our job, our collective responsibility is to prove my friend Sudhir right. ठीक है? तो मुझे आपकी मदद चाहिए इसमें. You know, I'll come back to the left brain. So what's happening here is the left brain and right brain both are important for human survival. Both are important for taking decisions, right? For taking actions. When you guys are designing a product, you are answering the question what? That's what I understand. When I am growing up a business, I am scaling up a business, I am answering the question what next? ठीक है? एक little rapid fire करते हैं. आप मुझे बताओ कि what are the two most important phases in a human life? Can somebody tell me? Death के पहले भी growth आता है. Death तो होती है सबकी. So to me, birth and growth, right? Two, same thing. Two important challenges that an entrepreneur faces. Two important questions that he has to answer. One, that's what you do. Design a product. How to design a product. The second, how to grow your business, how to sell your stuff, right? One is designing, one is selling. Now, when we look at the same thing, both of us, left brain, right brain, okay, we draw different conclusions from the same thing. Now, ये आप जब देखते हो, आपके मन में क्या आता है as designers? Anybody? Symmetry? Somebody said. Symmetry. I look at this and I think of scalability. You know, एक के ऊपर एक माला बनाया है, कितना सुंदर बना है. Similar thing. What comes to your mind when you look at this? Pattern. For me, this is differentiation. You know, differentiation between colors, for me, differentiation between products, between markets. Now, in your language, what is this called? Negative space. Somebody said, yes, negative space. In my language, this is called focus. Right? Because same as designing the product and growing businesses, you know, the entire game is of choices. What to get, what to include, what to lose, what to leave. Because if you include everything in a product design, the product becomes confusing. If you include everything in a business growth, the business growth becomes too heavy. You know, in my investment journey, I have seen enough number of companies which have gone bankrupt only because they wanted to grow everywhere, anywhere, anyhow they wanted to grow. That doesn't work in designing, that doesn't work in my business as well, in business growth. Now, we saw this photo, right? We talked about Fibonacci. This same thing is telling you that it's a beautiful design by nature. But you all know that this is also optimized for maximum light. So nature is trying to tell us both the things. The nature is trying to tell us how to design your product. The nature is also trying to tell you how to grow, right? Don't just design to create, design to grow. Similar to this, ये तो मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता है. I mean, हम बोलते हैं ना, फुर्सत से बनाया भगवान ने. Coral reef is such a beautiful creation. But have you seen coral reef a standalone? Never. The principle why coral reef is a beautiful design, because it comes from coexistence, aggregation, you know, collaboration. Now imagine a tree. Imagine what happens if a tree says that I will grow endlessly tall. It will fall, right? I mean, a banyan tree knows exactly when to branch out, where to branch out, how deep the roots should be so that the tree's height can be sustained. Am I right? It's designed for growth. It's designed to create and designed for growth. Sustainability, scaling up, the nature know exact balance. Now, why am I asking you so many questions and giving examples? Because, you know, as an investor, I have only two categories of entrepreneurs when I invest. One is commercially successful entrepreneurs and others. Designers, same. For me as an investor, from purely money point of view, commercially successful designers and others. If you are designing, don't just design to create. Design for growth. If you are designing, don't just design for passion. Design for profits as well. Try to remember a product which won a lot of awards. Today is the award day, right? We all are waiting. Maybe somebody, a few people are contesting as well. Try to remember a product which won a lot of awards and then vanished from the market because nobody bought it. Try to remember a brand, you know, which critics liked, media promoted, but customers didn't turn up to buy. I come across so many startup founders, every day they pitch me for investment, okay? Some startup founders, I see, you know, very sexy pitch deck, very well dressed, Queen's English, Chanakya's logic, Ramanujan's financial jargon embedded in the business model, Einstein's science embedded in the business model. Too good to be true business idea on paper. And no money in the bank account even to survive their startup for the next month. I've seen enough of that. And what's the use of all that? You know, if you design, to me, designing a product is like a beautiful song which was never sung. The singing of a song is the growth, to me. But if you grow your business without designing, growth is also a design, right? If you grow the business without designing, it is utter chaos. It's too much of noise, you know. There is no symphony in growing. Now, the companies which have designed themselves for growth are commercially successful. I'll give you a few examples. We all know Airbnb. This is Airbnb's logo, right? What's the design for growth for Airbnb? You know, why Airbnb is so commercially successful? Is it because of the app, because of website, because of how many number of rooms in the world they have on the application? No. I think it is the atmosphere of trust that they have created. You know, reviews, ratings, storytelling. You know, you feel like a community when you are in Airbnb. Either you are giving your room or taking your room. I'll give you another example from India, Amul. We all know Amul, right? What is the growth design of Amul? Can anybody tell me? Why Amul is so commercially successful? How it is designed for growth? Is it milk? No. Is it butter? No. These are products. To me, the design for growth design of Amul and Amul, why it is so commercially successful is cooperation. You know, they have empowered, our theme today is empowerment. They have empowered 1 million deserving people who otherwise did not have any resources to grow, are now growing together. You know, empowering each other, empowering the company, empowering the movement and growing together. That's the design for growth. That's the growth design principle of Amul. And now my favorite example of growth design in the world. Apple. We all use Apple, right? Now, ये तो आप मुझे बता दो. Why Apple is so commercially successful? Ecosystem. और ecosystem तो correct है. और experience, absolutely. So it's not the gadgets, it's not the sleek gadgets, it's not the features loaded, tons of features loaded in one gadget. No. Sudhir said it right. It's ecosystem, it's the experience, it's the packaging. You know, they have created a growth ecosystem whereby they push you to buy one product, then the same ecosystem pushes you to buy another product, and the same ecosystem pushes you to buy a third product, and the same ecosystem now pushes you to exchange your first product and upgrade it with another version. So that's the growth design. That's why Apple is so successful. They have created that ecosystem, that experience so well in our minds. And now let me talk about the biggest fear we have, all of us have in our minds today. We talk about it, we think about it, we ignore it, but we all are scared of these cool dudes. They are going to take our jobs. I'm very clear, they are going to take a lot of jobs. But they are going to, let's say these robots, you know, they can design a product by themselves, but they cannot grow your business. For growth, they will need human. So if you just design to create, they will destroy you. If you design for growth, so for example, I'll give you an example. Do you think that the robots can create a human experience like Apple? You know, when they create an endlessly growing ecosystem, they cannot do it. They need humans to do that. Can they create an atmosphere of cooperation like Amul? They cannot do. You need human. It is the same with Airbnb, you know. They cannot create the atmosphere of trust. They can create number of rooms. They can make the bookings. They are already making it, you know, online. But they cannot do that what Amul does with trust. Now, if you design to create, they are going to be your enemies. The skill to me is to use them as your slaves to design your products while you focus your attention to grow your business. So let them design the product so that they help you grow your business. Thank you so much.